In this video, we're looking at equations of straight lines. If we're given the gradient and a point, we can find the equation of the line, and we can use a slightly different formula to do it. So we can use the gradient times x minus x1 is equal to y minus y1. It's very similar, the same as the equation for the gradient, the change in y over the change in x. So if you divided both sides by the x part, you'd get the gradient is the change in y over the change in x. So all we've got to do, substitute in. So we've got the gradient, we've got our x1 and our y1, and we just substitute them in. So negative 4 is equal to x minus 2, and that's equal to y minus negative 7. So I've got negative 4 times x minus 2 is equal to y plus 7. So I've got the equation of the line. I can write it in whatever form I want. So if I expand the bracket, multiply by negative 4, so negative 4x plus 8 equals y plus 7. I can then make it y equals mx plus c by taking 7 away from both sides, or I can take everything to one side and make it ax plus by plus c equals 0. Let's take away the 7. So we've got y equals negative 4x plus 1. So we've got a gradient of negative 4 and a y-intercept of 1. So when we're given the gradient and a set of coordinates, we can use m times x minus x1 equals y minus y1. So for this one, we've got the gradient, we've got a set of coordinates, so we can use m times x minus x1 equals y minus y1. So 3 times x minus 3 equals y minus 1. Minus minus, I'll just change to a plus. So that is the equation of the line. But if we expand the brackets, and then plus 1 to both sides, we can put it in the form y equals mx plus c. Same again, so we've got a gradient and a point. Find the equation of the line with gradient minus a third that passes through the point negative 4, negative 2. So the gradient and a point. So the gradient times x minus x1 is equal to y minus y1. So minus a third times x minus 4. I'm just going to write plus 4 equals y minus 2. I'll just write plus 2. So I've got minus a third. I want to get rid of the third. So I'm going to times both sides by 3. So I've just got minus 1 times x plus 4 equals 3y plus 6. Then I can expand this bracket. So minus x minus 4 equals 3y plus 6. I can take away 6 from both sides. And then if I want the form y equals mx plus c, I can divide every term by 3, or I can take the two negatives over to the other side and have it in the form ax plus by plus c equals 0, where a, b, and c are integers. So either way. One for you to try. Pause the video and give it a go. Gradient times x minus x1 is equal to y minus y1. So we've got the gradient is 2/3. X1 is -2, so it's x take away -2, so x plus 2 equals y minus y1, which is 7, times through by 3. You don't have to, you could expand the bracket with 2/3, and that'll work for making it in the form y equals mx plus c. Or if you times by 3, it will be more suitable for ax plus by plus c equals 0. There's no right way to write the equation of a line. Unless the question tells you it wants the answer in a specific form, there's no right or wrong way to write the equation of a line. And actually, we already have written the equation of the line in a different way. Let's do ax plus by plus c equals 0 though. So I'm going to times by 3. So that'd be 3y minus 21 on the right side. Expand the bracket. And move everything over to the left. So I've got 2x's minus 3y's plus 25 equals 0. This time we've been given 2 sets of coordinates, and we need to find the equation of the line. So we can find the gradient first, and to do that we use a change in y over the change in x. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And let's have x1 y1, x2 y2, and just substitute them in. So the gradient is 3 take away -4 over 2 take away -1. That's 7/3. So the gradient 7/3, and then we can use the gradient times x minus x1 equals y minus y1. So the gradient is 7/3. And then it doesn't matter which coordinate I pick. If I'm using the first one, it's x minus x1, so minus 1, which will become plus 1. Y minus -4 becomes plus 4. Then we've got the equation of the line. We can write it in the form ax plus by plus c equals 0 by timesing by 3. Expanding the bracket. And moving everything over to the same side. So move it all to the left side. I want the x to be positive. So I'm going to take away 3y. And take away 12. And that's my answer. One for you to try. Pause the video and give it a go. So again, we've got 2 points. Let's label them x1, y1, x2, y2. The gradient is the change in the y's over the change in the x's, which is 7/4. And then we can use the gradient is x minus x1. The gradient times x minus x1 equals y minus y1. So we've got 7/4 times x minus x1, so minus 3, so plus 3, equals y minus y1, y minus 2, times by 4. So that is an acceptable answer. It is the equation of a line. I'm just going to write it in a form that we might be asked to. So times by 4, expand the bracket, and make it equal to 0. So take away 4y plus 8 and that is our answer. Another one, find the equation of the line that passes through -1, -5, and -3, -2. So label x1, y1, x2, y2. Find the gradient, so the change in the y's over the change in the x's. So we've got -2 plus 5, which is 3. -3 plus 1 is -2. So minus 3 over 2 is the gradient. So then we use the gradient times x minus x1, x minus minus 1, so x plus 1, equals y minus y1, y minus minus 5, y plus 5. That is the equation of the line, but we'll make it in the form ax plus by plus c equals 0. So times by 2. Expand the bracket. And I'll move everything to the right side this time, so the x is positive. So I've got 3x plus 2y plus 13 equals 0. One for you to try. Pause the video and give it a go. So the gradient is -7 take away -2 over 1 take away -2. So -7 plus 2 is -5. 1 plus 2 is 3. So the gradient is -5 over 3. So -5 over 3. So the gradient times x minus x1, x minus minus 2, and that's equal to y minus y1, y minus minus 2 is y plus 2. That is the equation of a line, but we can change the form by timesing by 3, timesing through by 3. Every term gets multiplied by 3. Expand the bracket. And make it equal to 0. So I'm going to move everything to the right side, so x will be positive. So I've got 5x, I've got 3y, and 6 plus 10, 16. Here's another question. The straight line L passes through 2a3 and 8a5. An equation for L is x plus 6y plus c equals 0. Find the value of a and the value of c. We can use the equation of the line to find the gradient. So if we put it in the form y equals mx plus c, so take away x from both sides, take away c from both sides, and then divide by 6. So I'll write it as minus a 6x minus c over 6. So we know the gradient is minus a 6. It's in the form y equals mx plus c. And then we can use x1, y1, x2, y2. So the gradient is the change in y's. So y2 minus y1 over the change in x's. 8a minus 2a. So minus 1/6 is equal to 2 over 6a times both sides by 6a times both sides by 6. And then 12 divided by 6 is 2. So a must be -2. So a is -2. How can we find out what c is? So we can, well, if a is -2, we know these coordinates now. So a is -2, so 2 -2s are -4. So -4, 3. the line goes through negative 4, 3. So if we substitute that in, we can find C. So X and Y. So negative 4 plus 6 3's, 18, plus C equals 0. So we've got 14 plus C equals 0. C is negative 14. Here's another one, slightly different. You can pause the video and give it a go. So this time we've got the coordinates a and 5 and 3a4. The equation of the line is x plus by plus 11 equals 0. We need to find the value of a and the value of b. We can do what we did before. We can find the gradient, but it's going to be in terms of b. So make y the subject, take away x, take away 11, and divide by b. So minus 1 over b x minus 11 over b. So the gradient is minus 1 over b. And the gradient is the change in the y's divided by the change in the x's. So y2 minus y1, 4 minus 5, over x2 minus x1, 3a minus a. So minus 1 over b is equal to negative 1 over 2a. So the numerators are the same, so the denominators must be equal. B must be equal to 2a. B is equal to 2a. So we can change b into 2a. Let's do that. So let's have x plus, instead of b, I'm going to write 2a, 2ay plus 11 equals 0. So now I've got rid of b, there's no b involved. I can use my coordinates and substitute them in for x and y, and then a will be the only unknown. So change x into a, change y into 5, so 2a times 5 is 10a. So I've got a plus 10a plus 11 equals 0. So 11a's plus 11 equals 0. A must be negative 1. And then b is 2 lots of negative 1. B is negative 2.